both pretty romantic. Yeah, we're pretty romantic people. I think you have to like believe in romance. Like it is because you say it is, right?
Yeah.
We both love love.
Blake Lively showing up without Ryan Reynolds on a major red carpet is the kind of move that sparks instant whispers, especially when the couple normally appears joined at the hip. What happened? Did Ryan's usual show of support suddenly evaporate for a reason? And why does the rumor mill keep pointing to a joke he made on national television as the reason he's dodging any shared spotlight? If you thought these two had the perfect Hollywood marriage, new developments might make you question everything. Because beneath the designer gowns and polished smiles, there's a swirl of speculation that the cracks in their glossy public image are starting to show. And those cracks could run deeper than any of us imagined. There's talk of shaky finances, at least shaky from her perspective, late-night jabs on SNL, an off-screen drama that has people naming Ryan the problem, and an odd conflict with Anna Kendrick that may or may not be real. Toss in some cryptic remarks from so-called insiders, and it's enough to keep all eyes fixed on Blake and Ryan's next moves. Could it be strategic PR? A genuine rift between Hollywood's golden couple? Or something in between? Stick around as we delve into what might be fueling Ryan's shocking absence, how big money could be calling the shots, and why everything from comedic jabs to rumored feuds could threaten both careers. By the end, you may see their picture-perfect romance in a whole new light. And believe me, the biggest bombshells are still on the horizon. When Blake Lively turned up solo for the premiere of her straight-to-streaming film, fans immediately took note. After all, Ryan Reynolds usually stands dutifully by her side, posing for countless photographs with that knowing grin. So why the sudden break from tradition? Observers were quick to speculate that their relationship must be on shaky ground, or at least that they're not as in sync as we've been led to believe. This particular event should have been a celebratory moment for Blake, showcasing her new film with co-stars. The public expected her loyal husband, known for playfully roasting her and himself on social media, to appear with the same comedic bravado he always does. Except, this time he was notably missing. At first, it was easy to chalk it up to scheduling conflicts or prior commitments. A busy star can't make every event, right? But rumors flew when people remembered that Ryan rarely, if ever, misses red carpet appearances by her side. The real buzz, however, kicked up after some behind-the-scenes chatter hinted at deeper reasons for his absence. A swirling rumor suggested that after Ryan made a controversial remark on a recent episode of Saturday Night Live, everything changed. Fans started connecting the dots. If that ill-timed joke caused friction behind the scenes, it might just be the tip of the iceberg. But that's not the whole story. A quiet tension seems to lurk in their interactions, especially whenever sensitive topics about alleged on-set troubles or feuds come up. The tabloids are even suggesting that Ryan and Blake's relationship is turning into a power struggle between two big personalities. Are we witnessing the start of a Hollywood meltdown? Or is it all smoke and mirrors? One thing is certain, the moment Blake walked that carpet alone, the dynamic of Ryan always nearby was shattered. And if you think that's intriguing, you'll want to hear how a single SNL cameo became the biggest crack in their story so far. Not too long ago, Ryan Reynolds popped up on Saturday Night Live for a cameo during the show's big anniversary segment. Comedy is his specialty. He's known for quick wit and a bit of playful mockery. But this time, his joke about swirling drama in Blake's life didn't land well. In fact, some say it backfired spectacularly. Imagine the setup, a comedic question, a seemingly harmless jab, and Ryan's casual response. Why? What have you heard? That left the audience snickering. Harmless on the surface, but rumor has it that line unleashed a storm of trouble behind closed doors. According to so-called insiders, the couple had agreed not to joke publicly about certain rumors, especially because Blake was feeling exposed by the mounting controversies around the film, rumored feuds, and legal drama overshadowing her. Ryan, ever the jokester, decided to poke fun at it anyway. Now, fans are saying that what might have seemed like a minor comedic moment was seen by Blake as a complete betrayal of trust. After all, she's been trying to distance herself from these controversies, whether it's alleged tension with co-star Anna Kendrick or rumors about unprofessional behavior behind the scenes. The last thing she needed was her own husband making the entire fiasco a punchline, effectively reminding viewers that yes, there's a big scandal swirling around them. Some watchers think Ryan's strategy is to separate himself from the chaos, as if to say, hey, it's her mess, not mine. Others suspect he was testing the public reaction, gauging if fans would rally behind him or turn on him. In either case, the reaction he received wasn't quite what he'd expected. An inside source whispered that Blake was furious after the SNL stunt, especially once social media users began pointing out how insensitive it looked. It was like the comedic veneer had been peeled back, exposing real tension between them. Many suspect that led directly to Ryan skipping the red carpet event. Why? Because neither was ready to deal with the avalanche of questions about that SNL quip. But this cringeworthy moment is just the start. To grasp the real power imbalance that could be pushing them apart, you have to follow the money, and the numbers might surprise you. On paper, Blake Lively's estimated net worth seems impressive, around $30 million if the rumors are accurate. Most people could live a lavish life on that kind of wealth. Yet, alongside Ryan Reynolds' eye-popping fortune, whispered to hover around $350 million or more, hers looks comparatively modest. And when you're dealing with Hollywood power players, the difference matters. Speculation abounds that Blake's newfound push to stay relevant, taking on new projects, being more visible on social media, and even stepping out alone, is rooted in her desire to maintain some form of autonomy. In an industry where earning potential can rise or plummet overnight, she might feel her career is vulnerable, especially with controversies nipping at her heels. Meanwhile, Ryan, with his highly successful ventures, film deals, and brand partnerships, appears to be on a financial trajectory that dwarfs her earnings by a huge margin. Some insiders suggest the financial gap could be fueling resentment. Blake allegedly fears that if her reputation takes a big enough hit, she'll be left with no high-paying roles. While she has enough to live comfortably, losing future opportunities might confine her to the role of supportive spouse, overshadowed by Ryan's comedic stardom and entrepreneurial endeavors. If that happens, Ryan remains the unstoppable breadwinner, and Blake's ambition could wind up on the back burner. Others point out that Ryan knows this, too. Ever the strategist, he could be quietly positioning himself as the stable, bankable star while Blake navigates uncertain territory. After all, if her public image sours, who stands to lose more? Probably not Ryan, especially if he can show that he had nothing to do with the swirling fiascos, including rumored issues on set or behind the scenes. Money often reveals intentions. The headlines might harp on comedic missteps and alleged tension with co-stars, but finances could be the real driving force behind how and why this couple manages public perception. So, where does Anna Kendrick fit into all of this? The alleged feud might hold more clues than people realize. But that's not the entire drama. If you thought net worth was the biggest factor, wait until you hear about the swirling talk that Blake's role in a potential feud with Anna Kendrick is overshadowing any chance to save face. Long before this film sequel was even announced, fans loved the on-screen chemistry between Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick. They played off each other's strengths, one known for her witty comedic timing and the other for that cool, sophisticated charm. Now, with rumors of a behind-the-scenes spat, the media is asking, did their friendly vibe turn sour? Some chatter claims that Anna, typically unafraid to speak her mind, isn't thrilled about all the extra headlines Blake's legal and personal controversies have generated. She wanted the film's press cycle to focus on the story, the cast performances, and the fun dynamic. Instead, it's overshadowed by speculation that Blake's off-screen troubles might tank the movie's credibility. One rumor says that the director, Paul, went out of his way to praise Blake, as if to counter negative talk about her. He reportedly called her the best collaborator ever and showered her with over-the-top compliments. Critics wondered if that was genuine admiration or a PR move orchestrated to downplay diva rumors. Either way, Anna's name got dragged in, with some tabloids implying she was annoyed by the spectacle. Yet there's a twist. Many sources suggest Anna and Blake barely interact outside of necessary promotion. If they're not close friends, it might mean there's no genuine feud, but rather a strategic attempt to create buzz or distract from more problematic headlines. After all, Hollywood loves a good catfight rumor if it diverts public attention from an even bigger story. Regardless of what truly went down, the red carpet conversations pivoted from the supposed Blake-Anna clash to one glaring issue: Ryan's absence. And if you're wondering how that gap turned into a flurry of conspiracy theories about PR leaks, you're about to see just how messy damage control can get. When two high-profile stars face negative press, Publicists usually work overtime to spin the narrative. That's exactly what seems to be unfolding here. Competing statements, anonymous insider quotes, and carefully planted stories have popped up in all the usual tabloid outlets. 1 minute, we hear Ryan stayed away to keep the spotlight on Blake. The next minute, we're told he's avoiding her to protect his own career. Which is it? Some suspiciously timed articles surfaced in tabloids known for leaking direct tips from celebrities' teams. Each piece offered contradictory takes. One alleged insider insisted that Ryan and Blake had made a mutual decision for him to skip the event, hoping to minimize further backlash. Another unnamed source claimed Ryan was furious that Blake hadn't done enough to quell the rumors about her alleged on-set behavior. And then came the rumor that he wanted distance because jokes on SNL had already caused him too much trouble. These varying stories paint a chaotic picture. It's as though we're watching a high-stakes chess match, with each side trying to control the board. Perhaps the most telling part is how official representatives respond, or don't respond, to the swirling speculation. Statements like Blake had a great time with her co-stars and Ryan was just busy feel hollow when they don't address the real questions. Why is everything so tense, and why are they tiptoeing around each other's reputations? Some industry veterans suspect the couple's PR teams are working independently, each focusing on preserving their respective clients' reputation first and foremost. If so, that's a major shift from the united front they once presented. They used to be known for collaborative interviews and fun banter on social media, but we're not seeing that now. Instead, we're getting tight-lipped deflections, snappy one-liners, and contradictory accounts of what truly happened at that film premiere. If the PR is this messy, it might be a sign that behind closed doors, a real crisis is unfolding. And nothing screams crisis more than the whispers that Ryan is effectively leaving Blake to handle the fallout alone. An accusation that's only gained momentum in the past few weeks. In one corner of the internet, fans have begun labeling Ryan Reynolds an opportunist for skipping the premiere. They argue he's essentially sacrificing Blake's career prospects to protect his own brand. The man, known for comedic charm and massive deals, everything from gin to mobile companies, can't afford to lose his squeaky clean public image. If Blake's controversies spiral, it makes sense he might want to detach himself. At least, that's what critics are saying. They compare the situation to a classic scenario where one partner, cornered by scandal, sees the other quietly slipping away when times get tough. Blake's awkward position, so low on the red carpet, forced to address questions about Anna Kendrick, deflecting queries about Ryan, could be a sign that she's indeed being abandoned to handle the heat. Others argue that maybe Blake prefers it this way. She might want to prove her independence to show she can stand on her own 2 feet. But that doesn't square well with the continuing rumors that she's worried about losing big film roles. It's one thing to be proudly independent. It's another to watch your career possibly crumble because your partner doesn't want to share in the blowback. The deeper you look, the more you see hints of ego, mutual blame, and those dreaded accusations of narcissistic behavior. Some fans claim they see parallels to other Hollywood relationships that imploded under pressure, where each party started pointing fingers, refusing to take accountability, and leaving the other one to face the music. Right now, the narrative suggests Ryan might be distancing himself from problems he helped create. But is that the final straw for this power couple? Not necessarily. Hollywood couples have survived worse. Then again, many have also fallen apart at exactly this kind of breaking point. So, the burning question becomes, where do they go from here? If there's one thing the public has learned about Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, it's that appearances can be deceiving. On Instagram, they might still trade playful jabs or post family-friendly updates that appear normal. But behind the scenes, speculation is swirling that both are strategizing how to protect their brands if the controversies worsen. There's also talk that the longer Ryan keeps his distance, the more Blake's frustration could grow. Will she keep up the facade of a strong, supportive wife? Or will she decide to go public with her own version of events, pushing back on the idea that her husband was blameless in this entire fiasco? Some believe the stress could drive her to break ranks, especially if her career keeps taking hits. Meanwhile, the rumor mill suggests that more allegations or hints about on-set behavior could surface soon, this time implicating both Blake and Ryan. If that happens, their carefully constructed images might face an even greater threat. Typically, if you're innocent, you come out swinging with evidence. But so far, we've seen only jokes, tepid denial, or complete avoidance of the subject. That's left some observers convinced there's more to the story. Insiders say that beyond the next few weeks, everything hinges on whether public perception leans toward blaming Blake for the drama, or if people start to view Ryan as the puppet master who helped stir up trouble and now wants out. If public consensus drifts toward the latter, it could mean rough waters for Ryan's once bulletproof popularity. And if fans decide Blake was merely following his lead, the entire dynamic flips. Could we witness a surprise twist where they unite again publicly, claiming everything was just a misunderstanding? Possibly. Could we see them quietly separate, hoping the media storm passes? Also possible. In Hollywood, anything can happen, and the real story often emerges at the least expected time. But to understand how deeply these rumors are affecting them, we have to consider the possibility that all these external signs, missing red carpets, bungled jokes, PR chaos, reflect something far more intimate, a marriage reaching its breaking point. Blake Lively arrived alone, wearing that latex dress and exuding an air of confidence. But behind the glitz, the real question remains, is she standing independently, or has Ryan Reynolds nudged her there to face the music alone? From comedic jabs on SNL to big money disparities, this situation has all the makings of a classic Hollywood unraveling. They've built an empire on playful banter and adorably coordinated appearances, but the shift in their dynamic feels palpable. If you believe the tabloids, Ryan's no-show reflects a cold, calculated move to protect his massive fortune and star power, while Blake clings to what remains of her own. Others see it as a couple weathering a temporary storm, each trying to preserve their unique brand until the controversies die down. One thing is certain, fans are no longer entirely convinced of the perfect couple narrative. A growing number of observers sense something disconcerting in how they're handling their problems, whether it's deflection, ill-timed jokes, or strategic distancing. Maybe they'll surprise everyone with a public reconciliation. Maybe the next big red carpet will see them joined at the hip again, smiling wide for the cameras as if nothing ever happened. But until then, the intrigue deepens, and each new rumor adds another layer to an already messy puzzle. Is the Hollywood fairy tale headed for a dark, unceremonious end? Or is this just another bump in the road for two savvy stars who know exactly how to play the PR game? No matter the outcome, the story is far from over. Keep your eyes on the tabloids and your ears open for the next slip-up or surprising twist. After all, in a town where image is everything, sometimes it's the missing person on the red carpet who reveals the most about what's really going on behind closed doors.